We all have our own reasons for wanting to get into property, but let me share some of the statistics that are already out as of 2025. Firstly being that it's the strongest start that the UK's had in 3 years. Sales being up 12%. The number of homes up for sale are up by 10%. That means we've got the highest number of homes for sale per estate agency for the past 7 years. House prices for 2025 are already up by £5,200 on average. And what's to expect? So the government's made a pledge to build 1.5 million homes in the next 5 years. And to put that into perspective, taking the number of homes they built in 2023 and taking that over 5 years, they would have built 965,000 homes. And if I include the data from both 2023 and 2024, that goes down to about 937 million homes. So it's to show that obviously that is a big and it's a tough ask. Just comparing us to other European countries, so per 1,000 people living in each country, Spain has 559 homes per 1,000 people. France has 553, Germany has 516, and where does that put us? The UK has 374 homes per 1,000 people. So we are sitting a little bit behind at the minute, but that's the main reason. Per 1,000 people in the UK, there is 374 homes. But that's why it's something that I like. But the main reason why you're here, is it worth it? And is property for you? So let's look at some of the numbers. So I'll start off by going through some of the initial costs. Then after that, I'll answer that question of, did any maintenance come up? Starting off, it was a 75% mortgage, so deposit of £21,500. Stamp duty land tax was £2,580. I think stamp duty rules have changed since then, and obviously there'll be some more changes in April as well. I did have a couple of surveys done on the property, so those costs came out to £575. Legal costs, £1,163. You do have to do self-assessments if you're renting out property. So I arranged an accountant to do that, so that cost £288. Landlord insurance, so obviously for buildings, but then I do like to be protected as well in terms of some additional cover that's out there for landlords, but that's about £463. Broker fee for setting up the mortgage of £400. In terms of getting the property ready to rent, so everything from cosmetic to compliance, safety checks, licenses, but those costs came to £2,226 and 88p. So my total initial cost being £29,194 and 24p. The property was rented out for £695 per month, so that's £8,340 a year in terms of rent. The thing to always factor in as well is probably for at least a month, the property is not necessarily going to be rented out. That obviously eats into profits. There's also tax. A managing agent also looks after the property for me because I want to make things as straightforward for me as possible. But in terms of the return on investment, just based off that sort of basic level, it makes me £292 in profit per month. Over the course of a year, that's £3,504. And then obviously if you divide that by my by that initial investment being that £29,194, it means a 12% return on investment. But that's obviously based on everything going perfectly smoothly. So we'll get into that. So the question that's been pondering on your mind. So have any maintenance related expenses come up? So yes. So firstly, it was a bit of an issue with the tap. That was about £132. Not the end of the world, absolutely fine. Then the boiler broke. Cost to supply and fit a boiler, £2,340. So if we recalculate that math, for the tap, for the boiler, £2,472. If I take £292 in profit over 11 months, that's £3,212. Then if I divide that over my initial investment, it now means that the difference between the two, the actual profit that I've made, I think works out to about 740 maybe, but that's a 2.5% return on investment. Is it something I expected? No. Is it something I'm happy with? No. There are bank accounts that pay more in interest rates for a lot less work. But is it something I plan to do in the future? Yeah, I'll be buying my next one in the next couple of months. The boiler's one of the biggest expenses that can come up with a property, and this one now has a 12-year warranty on it. And the house price has gone up by a few £1,000s in value, which hasn't been factored into the return on investment calculations. So yeah, I'm very optimistic. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. I'll do a 1-year review as to what the overall returns were. Obviously, I'll share some of the ways that you can avoid making the same mistakes that I did. But if you missed the video where I showed you around my first rental property, be sure to click here and watch that one next. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.